Hello and welcome. Today I will be giving a brief introduction to the ancient Sumerian civilization's place in the world and time. The term Sumer is the name used to refer to the land of the Sumerians. This is an area of southeast Mesopotamia, the region of land surrounding the lower Tigris and Euphrates rivers, which is bound by the Zagros Mountains in the northeast and the Arabian Plateau to the southwest. Although Sumer is often referred to as a country, it was rarely a cohesive political entity and was instead a region of city-states, each with their own king, but sharing a similar language and culture. The name Sumer was originally given by the Akkadians, who lived further up the rivers, and meant land of civilized kings. However, the Sumerians themselves referred to their region as the land of the black-headed people, or simply the land. Modern scholars divide the history of Mesopotamia into 6 periods. The first signs of civilization in Mesopotamia started in the Ubaid period from 5000 to 4100 BCE. Despite leaving numerous interesting artifacts and probably forming the first permanent settlements, the culture and origins of the people who lived in this region remains unknown. The Uruk period lasted from 4100 to 2900 BCE and saw the creation and growth of the first cities in the region. From 2900 to 2334 BCE, Mesopotamia entered into the early Dynastic period. It is at this point that we see the rise of kings ruling individual cities and the development of a government and bureaucracy to support them. We also see conflict between the city-states over land and water rights. Occasionally, the city-states were united under a single king, such as Enembaragassi of Kish. Around 2700 BCE, Enembaragassi led Sumer against Elam in the first recorded war in history. The Sumerians were victorious and raided the Elam cities before returning home. Later kings would return to conquer Elam territory in about 2500 BCE and 2330 BCE, but despite their victories abroad they were unable to control the other Sumerian city-states. Around 2334 BCE, Sumer was conquered by Sargon of Akkad, who ruled it until his death in 2279 BCE. During this time, Sargon made it the center of his multinational empire and maintained his rule by placing people he trusted in positions of power in the cities he conquered. This included his daughter, Enheduanna, who he installed as high priestess of the goddess Inanna in the influential city of Ur. This enabled him to manipulate religious and cultural affairs from a distance. The Akkadian Empire stabilized the region and allowed for a flourishing of the arts, sciences, agricultural and transport infrastructure, and trade. History tends to credit the collapse of the Akkadian Empire with the Gutian invasion around 2219 BCE. However, recent studies indicate it was most likely climate change that caused a series of events at the time which led to a weakening of the empire and brought on the invasion by the Gutians. The Gutians were a nomadic people who came from the central Zagros mountain range. They had previously been appearing as settlers in Mesopotamia in the generation preceding the invasion. However, as nomadic people, they were unused to the demands of governing a civilization or maintaining its infrastructure, and as a result prosperity declined. The Gutians ruled until being driven out by the king of Uruk, Utu-Hagal, and his son-in-law, Ur-Nammu, around 2047 BCE. Following the eviction, Ur-Nammu's son, Shogi of Ur, reconquered Mesopotamia. This allowed the progression of Sumerian culture, to continue after almost 3 centuries of foreign rule. However, the Sumerians would only get to enjoy their independence for 2 centuries. Around 1750 BCE, the region was invaded by the Elamites. It was also around this time that Mesopotamia saw increased colonization from the Amorites. The Amorites were a people who dominated the history of Mesopotamia, Syria, and Palestine from 2000 to 1600 BCE. There are other reasons for Sumer's fall. The civilization had struggled to retain its autonomy since the Amorites gained power in Babylon. This caused a shift in culture, most recognizable in the male-female ratio of the indigenous pantheon, which completely reversed the Sumerian theological model by elevating the supreme male god Marduk over all others. This era also saw a decline in women's rights that had normally been in line with those of men, and a decline in the cities as the land was overused. Thank you for watching, and I hope you will stay tuned for more videos in the future. Goodbye for now.